Alright, so for the impatient ones, let's just go ahead and test this. I'll turn on the Pocket 4K, let's put the battery in the monitor. This is way scarier than it should be. And there we go, it works. Seems that the Blackmagic design guys were able to fix this. Excellent. Well, I suppose that this is it. End of the story. We're happy. And for the impatient ones, definitely. I had a problem. I got it fixed. We're done. And now that the impatient ones are hopefully satisfied, hi, this is Roger in Finland, and today we will be talking about the HDMI out not working from my Pocket 4K, and now that it's working, what happened and what theories do we have? By the way, now that this is obviously resolved, I had to deal with the Blackmagic customer support, and I will have a full video related to that experience, but that's for another day. What theories do we have of what happened and what will I be avoiding from now onwards? When trying to investigate through the internet, which is a fantastically reliable source of information, especially in some corners of it, I found out that the HDMI out of the Pocket 4K being fried could be for different things. One of them that was mentioned was that if you're powering the monitor and the camera using the same battery, that could cause some of the power to go from the battery through the monitor via the HDMI out and then fry it. That is quite problematic in my opinion, because one problem of the Pocket 4K is the battery life, which is horrible, and you always want to rig it up in some way. Adding a V-mount battery is a solution for it, and if you're gonna using a V-mount battery in your rig, you probably want to power pretty much everything else that you could using that one. So I really want to use one battery with this. I don't know if I'm gonna have the guts to try it again, but I might. Another problem that was mentioned there were the power cables. As I talked about in my first video when I said I do have the problem and I don't have a solution, I had been using the same monitor, the same battery and the same cables, and it's been working just fine all the time. Apparently low quality power cables had caused these problems to some YouTuber. I'll try to find the link and post it below. Then, because I was dealing with Blackmagic design customer service, I asked them what could have caused the problem in the camera and what should I be avoiding in the future. What they told me is that it could be two things, most likely. One of them being a defect from the factory. So I just got a defective unit that was about to blow out at some point. And the other one would be bad quality HDMI cable. So not the power cable to the camera or the monitor, but the HDMI cable going from the monitor to the camera. Apparently, if the HDMI cable is of low quality or if it's too old, it could have some grounding issues and then it can cause some short circuits that's gonna fry something. I used to have my own theory on the topic. I've been thinking on what did I do differently the time that this happened compared to the previous times that everything was working fine. As I mentioned earlier, I have been powering this with this V-mount battery. This is an FX Lion Nano one, which is a really small footprint V-mount battery, and hopefully, if I would get everything working, a fantastic option for rigging this in a quite small way. As I mentioned earlier, I've been using just one battery to power my Pocket 4K rig, really small one, and I chose this FX Lion Nano 1 V-mount battery because of its small size. The monitor is a DeskView R7, and maybe I should make a review about it and why I think it's a great choice for the Pocket 4K. And then I got some cables, and I don't know if some of these are the source of the problem or not, or if I will ever know. I have used this coiled HDMI to HDMI without problems for years actually. I've had this when I was using the GH5 with other monitors, and that years ago. It's been always fine, except now, but I don't know if that is the source. Blackmagic customer service said that it could be. Then I have these two D-Tap to power cables that I'm using for powering the monitor and powering the Pocket 4K from the V-mount battery. Maybe this could be the problem. What is the difference between the setup that day that this blew up compared to everybody else? Everything was mounted. Usually I don't have the space to keep these things, so I set up everything and then I plug everything and it works well. But then for some time I had this rig basically mounted except for the battery, So things were plugged in everywhere. And then I turned the camera on. The monitor was already on. The cables had been plugged on for quite a while. And the only thing that I had to take off from that rig was the battery to charge it at some point. What came to my mind later on is that this Desview monitor, when you plug or unplug the battery, it makes a high-pitched electronic noise, which to me sounds like a charge or discharge of some electronic components. This is something that I haven't heard in, for example, the Atomos Ninja 5. I can remember from other cheap monitors that I had, like the Lilliput A7 or whatever it was. But this is something that this Desview R7 does. I'm not sure if it's a defect or it's just its construction, but when you plug and unplug, especially this kind of cable from the V-mount battery, so if you're just putting a big battery behind it, just with the clicks and clacks, you can't hear it. But when you unplug this or plug it, then it makes that high-pitched noise. My theory now is that because everything was plugged in, when I put the battery on the system and things were turned on, and then the monitor itself got the power and had that surge, that's the thing that did end up somehow through some cable frying the HDMI output. I can't be sure, but just because everything else was working fine before this is the only theory that I could come up with. I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you have a better explanation than mine? But now I have to think, how will I be operating all this going forward? One thing is that I still want to try this system being powered by one V-mount battery. I think it has to work. I have bought a new HDMI to HDMI cable from a better quality, that it should be better than that. So I will get rid of this cable, that it's the possibility that Blackmagic Design told me that could have caused a problem. So I'm going to follow their advice and get a new HDMI cable. But then I still want to power these things through one battery, new HDMI cable, but I will be always turning everything on and then plugging the HDMI in. Hopefully doing that, I will avoid those power surges that at least I can hear from the Desview R7 going to the camera and frying it. Hopefully I will not have any other comments on the topic. I will not be complaining about the HDMI output of the Pocket 4K ever again. And I really hope that some of the next videos that I'm going to be making are going to be done with that camera. I'm not sure if this video was very helpful. It's filled with speculation. It's filled with information I tried to gather about what could have caused the problem, what do I think could have caused the problem, what Blackmagic told me that could have caused the problem, and what things I will be avoiding going further. But if you found this somewhat interesting and you want to follow me on my journey using the Pocket 4K, please like and subscribe, and we're gonna see you soon for some more content.